Welcome to the Sold Too Early Sports Card Podcast, actually influencing the future of sports card shows. Take that, hobby legends. That's Kai. I'm Hollow Deity, and today we are joined by Jake, North Shore Cards. Jake, Kai, how are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Chilling, man. We had a little week and a half break there, give or take. Fun fact: don't get food poisoning, or do. It's a pretty good way to drop 10 pounds of weight in 12 hours. Was quite miserable, so had to take a week off. But we're back, and I've completely forgotten most things about sports cards in just a short period of time. I truly, honestly, do not know what's going on in the sports card world anymore. So, what's going on here, guys?
Nothing's changed. Football's got pretty hot. Basketball's cooling down, and then same rotation as always. It seems like.
You're right. I mean, one thing that's different, and I mean, your profile picture, your logo today is obviously not you; it's a picture. But it gave us an opportunity actually to, through the powers that be, actually have a pretty good conversation about this. This is not the entire podcast, nothing like that. But like, hey, might as well lead it with it. So, the National. It's approaching, man. We're only about what is it, like 55 60 days away, give or take, at time of recording. It's getting pretty bad out here. I'm not sure if you guys have been paying attention to the prices of showcases and how the National obviously is not actively letting people sell or trade their spots, but people are doing it anyway. The quote-unquote black market for a showcase or a table at the National, a table is about 5 figures from my sources. It's really bad out here.
It's easy that. Just to kind of clarify on that, we had a table. Well, we thought we had a table, and we paid 5 figures, and it got taken from us. So the numbers are real. I mean, we were willing to pay it just because of needing. I mean, this is the biggest week of the year. This is the Super Bowl for all of us card guys. So I mean, I can attest that those numbers are 100% facts.
So hang on, because this is news to me too. So you and the powers that be, whoever you worked with, had a table at National. You bought a table from someone, you owned it.
Correct. Me and Sports Card Mania, Lucas. Yeah, we and then another person, but I won't disclose his name just because I haven't talked to him about going on the show. So, but yeah, we had a table. We had a table. We locked in a whole booth for 3 tables, and it was more than $10,000. And he called us 3 or 4 weeks ago and said that the National sent him a message saying that if he subleased his table to anyone that wasn't him, that he would be blacklisted from the National, and then his table would be confiscated. So we just told him we didn't want to cause any issues from him. It's a nice guy that they've rented tables from for the last 5 years. So like it wasn't him. It's obviously the National. I've also heard that they're going to be walking around checking IDs every day, and if you're not the person who you're registered with the table behind the table, then you will be kicked out and blacklisted already. So I know 20 plus people that this has happened to. Same thing happened to us, and that's what kind of gave us the idea to kind of do what we're doing.
I'm actually fucking speechless. Like, the fact that let me think of how I want to process this information. So I found out today from a friend that he had acquired a table, the table had been sold underneath him. He didn't know about it. The fact that you're telling me that you yourself, as well as our peer Lucas and other individuals, bought several tables, paid over that $10,000 number, and still were told, fuck off, not through the person that you bought it from, but from the National themselves, I just don't understand it logically. The National sold that space. They have done whatever they're going to do. They've collected their money. Why are they actively stopping people and the free market from dictating what those are worth?
Agreed.
I just don't understand it logically, and maybe it's just me, but like, I am fully on board with watching the National and the powers that be within that National fail. And I'm not going to say that this after show that you're putting on, which, by the way, you are the one who's running this. Thank you for giving us the exclusive to talk about this with you. I'm not saying that this show is going to go and impact the national, but you know what it's going to do? It's going to give realistic and actual collectors an opportunity to either be set up or make deals and sell and buy and actually have an experience that they can enjoy when it seems like we are being gay kept so severely in this world. And I just don't fucking get it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, last year was the first year they started like threatening people with that, right? I know people were kind of scared last year to let people buy booths, but they still did it and nothing ended up happening.
Yeah.
So this new group took over, I believe, last year. But why? It just doesn't make sense to me to stop the free market of, hey, you want to sell a table space, or hey, maybe you're just like a guy who doesn't own a card shop, because there are people out there who don't own card shops who can't fill out an entire booth. I'll tell you the truth, Kai and Jake. The booth at Fanatics was $3,000. I just paid for that yesterday. I got 3 tables, 6 showcases, and 3 VIP passes. Can I fill up 6 showcases by myself right now? No. Am I going to sublease it? Most likely, at least some of that space. Like the Fanatics Fest got their money for me. Why do they care what I do with that space? I paid it. They got their amount. Why is it a big deal to them what I do with it? They earn their money. So on a smaller scale, I am the vendor, the booth person. What if it was 12 showcases? What the fuck would I do if I couldn't sell that space off? Would I just have to eat that cost and like have 3 cards per showcase? I just don't logically understand the motive here.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem with the national is that, I mean, I've been going to national for years, and you'll walk through, and there may be 10% of the tables that are really nice stuff, and then you have a bunch of tables. I walked by a table last year. The guy had 3 cards in his whole table. For each showcase had 1 card. I mean, like, yeah, there are nice cards, but what's the point of that? Like, and they weren't priced. He didn't want to sell them. He's just sitting there talking to other guys. Like, it's not a vacation. Like, this is mine and Lucas's full-time jobs. I mean, this is what we do for a living. So we take it serious. Like, we go there with the intention of buying and selling cards, like what most card shows should be focused on. And I feel like the Nationals kind of lost that as far as just letting the whole country club feel of, you were in it last year or you were in it 30 years ago, so let's let you in again. That's not the way it should be. I mean, the Nationals should be the highlight of the year for the card industry, and it should be the best of the best there with the best of the best cards. That would get more people there.
100%.
I mean, not even that too. Like, if you want to support your good old boys, I get it. Listen, nepotism runs within this industry. Let's be real. I got my Fanatics booth because I was buddy with the dealer relations guy. I paid for it in full, but guess what? I still got the link early. You are helping us with the after show because we're friends and we're giving you a platform and you're helping us in return. These are deals that happen. I'm at least willing to be honest and truthful about what happens behind the scenes, because through the powers that be, that actually gets you farther in this career. You want to help the good old boys who've been there for 30 years? Fine. But why the fuck are you stopping them from selling their space if they don't need it? It just doesn't make any sense. I'll call out the bullshit as I see it within the industry. And deals that are like underhand deals happen every single time. There will be showcases that are sold that are not owned by the person who owns that booth. What the fuck are you going to do?
Crazy.
It just doesn't, I don't get it. And this is truly the transitional year. I will stamp my foot on the ground and say it for a while. I think the National has peaked. You might still see like a great attendance going out here, but the competition is real. Burbank, Fanatics, your show in a way, even though it's literally at the show. Dallas, Nashville, Atlanta, all these other shows are either growing or becoming more of an accessible way for people to set up at a show for a lot less. Am I going to pay $10,000 to go to Cleveland? Or am I going to pay for all my other showcase space or table space for the rest of the year, basically? Like, okay, what am I going to do? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's changed, and I said the same thing to a bunch of other friends about it's kind of become a dinosaur. I mean, it's people go to it because it's the National and it's what you're supposed to do, but if they don't change their ways, Fanatics will be the new National.
I agree with you. I think truthfully, there's gonna be a conversation in a couple of years where Fanatics acquires the national rights if they even want to, if they even have to. Like all frankly, this is a 5-day card show. You're telling me
Yep.
that a multi-billion-dollar company couldn't do that and probably better? Like
Way better.
Do you think it's more of keeping the like country club feel of like keeping the same members and stuff, or more of like they're missing out on like $8,000 a table when people resell them?
I think it's a combination, honestly.
jack up the price then. Like
Yeah.
who is stopping you from doing that? Like you want to
No
make
one
it a free
cares.
market.
People will pay it. I mean,
You want to make it a
Absolutely.
free market? Honestly, put that shit on fucking eBay or like create a website. Oh
yeah,
my
if they had
god,
an auction, yeah.
imagine using a website in 2024. Holy fucking
Yeah.
shit, right? Like,
Yeah,
there's
do it the way Panini does it with their first off the line. Do a Dutch auction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean,
let the free market decide what it's worth.
I agree.
We just solved it, guys. You're welcome. Make sure to not give me a booth next year, but I'm Hollow Deity.
Yeah. It won't happen.
It will never happen. That would require critical thinking, which is a huge issue in our industry as a whole. But dude, I don't know. It's really hard to get excited for this. Like, I've been saying it for a while. The warning lights have been there. It's getting worse. You know what? Frankly, like I'm happy you guys are. I don't know if that's an alarm or not. That would not be good. I don't. My strategy for this national is gonna be very different than years past because like last 2 years I had space in my name. It was great. Actually, last 3 years. Had space in my name. It was great. It was able to buy, sell, and trade whatever else. I might have to go compete with repackers. Like
Yeah.
I might have to go walk the tables and see what's out there. I may end up canceling my trip. I'm not really sure what's gonna happen yet. It's just like so silly. Like if you're a moderately sized dealer, you've been stonewalled from buying into a booth or a table. Repackers are paying 85 to 90%, which is honestly a great positive for everyone involved, except for the people who buy into repacks. Repackers paying a higher percentage is good for everyone. So if you're a moderately sized dealer, you have to either compete with them at those higher margins, which you're not going to make money on, frankly, it's just not smart. Or what do you do? I mean, I don't know. It's just like,
Well, I
it's
mean, for some
really-
dealers, they're also just not like equipped to be able to walk around. Like dealers that can fill up 4 showcases, like you can't walk around with that much inventory. Like you just
Nope.
can't.
No, an average Zion case, the Goliath Zion case that I have, which I fucking love so much, can comfortably fill 3 to 4 showcases. I mean, if I stuff it to the point where like there's no
Well,
other card that can fit, maybe 4.5.
But like
comfortably,
with that case that you have, like it's such a pain in the ass to like fucking drop that on a showcase to like let people look at it. Like it's just not feasible for someone
It's
like
impossible.
that. As that.
It's impossible to do any selling at the national in reality because the dealers are going to pay it. What we want to pay. So I mean, what's the point?
Yeah.
it really concerns me. Like there's a 50-50 shot I end up canceling my flight. Like my table, not my table, my
I'll take your
my
hotel
flight.
room.
What'd you say?
I said I'll take your hotel room.
I think I have a king. Yeah, that might end up working out. I don't know. I think all in my travel expenses is about $800 to $1,000, which is like pretty cheap. But I literally booked my hotel room sitting in the dirty ass Chicago Convention Center last year when there was no
Also-
air conditioning.
Yep,
Like
I
it's
do
just a
too.
smart thing to do. And now those rooms are probably triple the price because we're dumb.
Can confirm.
Is it actually over like $700 a night?
Oh no, but it's more
like
than
$400.
Yeah, it's more than you paid for sure.
That's so obnoxious. I mean, once again, free market dictates that, so it do be like that. I don't know. Like, I'm looking much more forward to Burbank, Dallas, September, Dallas. Sorry, Burbank, Fanatics Fest, Dallas in the future, like Minnesota. Like, the National just feels like a gigantic inconvenience. And had you and Lucas not created the after show, I would have almost certainly been canceling my trip. Like this at least is a 3-day show. The Thursday, Friday, Saturday of the National.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We specifically didn't do it on Saturday because we didn't want to interfere with the Nationals trade night. So
Okay.
we try to be respectful of the national and not have any association with them. So this is the way to do that.
Have any reps from the national reached out to you guys at all about this or no?
Yeah, actually, the director of the national reached out to me. He reached out to a buddy of mine, and I found out through a buddy of mine. So I actually messaged him on Instagram, and we had a conversation.
Anything productive, or was it just
yeah.
like?
He said he thought some of the dealers reached out to him saying that they thought I was trying to poach their customers from him, and wanted to see like what my goals were. And I explained to him, and he said he appreciated my professionalism, and while he can't stand behind it, he's not going to do anything to stop it, basically. So it was a nice guy. I mean, he was respectful, and I mean, I told myself if your dealer is worried about a 60 table car show taken away from them, then they shouldn't be there.
Also, they literally cannot stop you. What? They have the nerve to think you're going to poach customers. That's not how this works. You don't own us. Like,
it's like McDonald's not selling hamburgers because Burger King is across the street.
Yeah, I don't even understand. The more I hear about
argument there, though, like this is literally going on after the national closes for the day. Like, there's no argument like that you're stealing customers.
Exactly, and that's why I did it because I didn't want any controversy. I'm not trying to cause controversy, and the main reason we did it is because one, the table we lost, and two, I called every hotel that was anywhere around the area. Everyone has a small lobby. Everyone has the conference rooms are small, so no one can hold any kind of size trade night. And trade nights, you know, it is like last year. Everybody went to the Lowe's, and we got kicked out every night. I mean, so this is a dedicated time. Say you go from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m., and then no one's going to kick you out. There's security there. There's a bar there. There's food trucks, a restaurant. Like, it has everything you need there, and you know it's secure. So that's one of the reasons I did it.
Sorry. How far away is this from the actual convention center?
It's literally 6 minutes away.
Amazing. Yeah, the one thing about Cleveland that I've heard is it's just a disaster in terms of like sports card like efficiency, because obviously for anyone who's not been to Chicago in the past or ever, the National is held at a major convention center, super nice, huge location with about 4 to 6 major hotels within walking distance of it. It's really the perfect spot. It checks all the major marks you want to have. Cleveland is not. Cleveland is not super accessible. You're going to be Ubering a bunch. To and from the hotel, to and from the convention center, to and from the after show. Like, it is going to be a disaster. Not to you. It's going to be a disaster because of the fact you're going to have to Uber everywhere. You cannot walk.
Yep. I agree.
I don't know. It's going to be... I hope I'm eating my words when I say this. This is probably going to be the worst national for 95% plus of people who've been in sports cards.
I agree. I was talking to Lucas and I said, if we go the first few days and it's nothing special, we'll just play golf. We'll rent clubs and play golf during the day.
It's just a shame. Like, no one... Who benefits from the current layout? The good boys from 20 years ago, 10 years ago, when they couldn't sell a national space? Guess what, reps? Things have changed so severely that you could not comprehend the amount of interest in your show. And it's not about you. It's not about the national and how exclusive and how privileged we are to be here. Please let me be there. I'm begging you. You just happen to be the largest card show. You will not be there for much longer. You will be replaced or you'll be acquired. And if that puts me on a blacklist, go for it, dude. I don't give a fuck. It means nothing to me.
Yep, I agree.
If this goes well, do you guys want to try to do it like again, or is it like a one-time thing?
We talked about it. I mean, we weren't doing it to be any kind of competition. We were doing it because, I mean, we've invested a lot. I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of inventory over the last 6 to 10 months of players we know that will be more valuable at the national. So thinking we had space to sell it at. So, I mean, we did it because we got all this inventory, and it's not as easy to sell a $20,000-$30,000 card on Instagram as it is to do it in person at a show. Like, I can sell $1,000 cards like ice water on Instagram, but selling a $25,000-$30,000 card is just a select market for that kind of stuff, which is what the National's good for, having the foot traffic to see it.
Yep. It's just so weird. I don't know. I don't really see the path forward there, but I don't know. It's really it's a concerning time. Listen, the summer's great. Like we have a lot of exciting things to look forward to in the sports card world. So many major shows to do, so many events to travel to. I mean, are you guys, Kai and Jake, and I guess Lucas by extension there too possibly? Are you planning on doing the Fanatic show in August? Are you planning on doing Burbank? Like, what are your guys' summer calendars kind of looking like for shows outside of the National?
You can go, Jake.
Yeah, we'll be at all those. We'll be at the Fanatic show. Actually excited about it because New York's a cool place. Then Dallas, obviously, Burbank. I'll tell you what, one of the best shows I've been to this year was the Culture Collision show, the first one in January. That was a really good show. So we'll be there. I mean, those shows are always good, and you always know the consistency is going to be there. But like you said earlier in the podcast, I mean, repackers are really what's holding the market up in reality. I mean, they're just killing it for us. I mean, when back in the day could you buy a card and sell it at 100%? Never.
Yeah.
I mean, so people I see people making posts all the time on Facebook, Instagram, paying 75%. You're not buying any cards at 75%. I mean, you got to change your strategy. I mean, we're paying close to 90% on stuff now just because you have to. I mean, if you want to get anything decent, you got to pay strong for it. Margins are smaller than they used to be, but hey, at least you know you have a guaranteed place to sell them because these guys, as long as you buy on the right stuff, they'll buy it all. We just did a big deal with Backyard the other day. I mean, it was a $100,000 deal, and it took 20 minutes to get done. I mean, it's that easy if you have the right stuff.
There's a lot to break down there. So it's so funny that like the margins have gotten smaller. You can buy weirder inventory and do well on it, like maybe 75-80%, but like there's a very real possibility that like a bubble is forming and could burst at any moment in time just based on the repacker industry. Like I think anyone who is actually aware of what's going on here understands the warning signs are starting to really be present. Like, how many people are really going to be comfortable spending $2,000 on a repack product? $200, sure. $2,000, $2,500, $3,000 more. Like, you're reaching a point in the economy where people are struggling more and more. Inflation hits worse every single day. That kind of money is not going to always be available. And if that repacker market dries up, if they can't sell product, they're not going to be able to buy your Joe Montana patch auto for $175 when it comps for $185. Like,
I mean, joining some of these like rooms though, and just looking at it, I don't really see that happening though. Honestly, like they'll have people buying into their repacks for a while.
The amount. Go for it.
There's so many new people in the hobby that they're so new they don't know any better than just to buy into breaks and repacks. I mean, it's nuts. Probably 70% of my inventory are from people who just do that, and I don't reach out to them. They just text me or send me a message on Instagram and say, "Hey, I just got these in. Do you want them?" And they know what I pay, and it's literally 2 minutes of work, and it's crazy the amount of people. You go into one of the top 5 guys, We Hobby, Backyard, all these guys, and just hop in the stream and watch the amount of people in there. It's nuts. I mean, it's absolutely nuts.
I think we're early in the bubble. I think that to not be prepared for other things is kind of foolish in a way. But I don't know. It can't continue like this forever. Prices continue to go more and more. If people are paying 95% plus of comps in person at shows, the dealer economy, quote unquote, falls apart because no one's going to pay those percentages realistically for quality inventory. Then it just becomes repackers selling to other repackers. And then the people who actually are buying into the products are the losers at the end of the day. They always lose. I don't think they're sports card collectors. They're degenerate gamblers. You really think they're going to keep on losing? You really think they're going to sell a card that they pay $2,000 for a spot, sell it for $800 and keep buying into sports cards? No. It's going to happen, though, in my opinion. I don't know when, but I think it's worth being cognizant of and aware of for the future.
I agree.
You know, I think the best thing dude, you know how I've been making money over the last month or so while I'm chilling, waiting for my fucking wedding and honeymoon, and like then I'll go back and playing in the high end sports car world. I'm buying junk. I'm buying buying $3 to $10 cards, packaging them up and selling them off to consignment, or running them on my app that's going to launch in the next hopefully month or so. That's been slow as hell. You want good margins? People don't want trash cards.
That's right.
I've been doing very well selling trash cards, and either it's off in consignment and it gets loaded in a month, or I do it myself and making 50%, 60% margins. I mean, it's $1.50 here, $2 there, 75 cents here, 85 cents here, maybe break even every now and again on like a couple cards, but it still generates positive feedback from my eBay. It still like lets things cycle and continue to grow. And when I need that money in a month or so, when I want to get back into the high-end sports car world, I might have 15, 20 grand there just chilling that I wasn't expecting to from just flipping cheap ass cards.
Yep.
Like, there's so many ways to do this just based on how much commitment you want to have towards that world. In fact, I'm going to make a buying post for cheap low-end cards after this podcast, because guess what? No one wants to do that work. And I think that's the angle that if I ever did cards full time would be the one I approach, because that keeps the lights on. You can flip a $5,000 card and make $1,000, but you don't know when that's going to happen. If you sell cheap low-end cards, you can basically guarantee that will sell within 7 days.
Yeah.
Dave, are you gonna be dollar boxing at the National?
Fuck no, absolutely not. That's the worst thing you could do. Like space is everything.
What about the whole speech you just gave?
Yes, but guess what, Kai? Unless I should. Let me rephrase that statement. Sure, I'll go dollar box hunting if I then can theoretically turn around and ship it UPS home, or they ship it for me.
Like $50, mail it home.
I mean, that's worth it then.
Yeah.
Or make them do it, which would be fine. So no, I'm not going to spend my time dollar box hunting. But if someone has a $2,000 lot of 500 cards, they'll sell for $2 per card. All right, cool. Here's $1,000 in cash. Ship it home. I'll cover the shipping cost. I'll see it in 5 days, and that can pay for my travel expenses alone by itself, theoretically. Like, I don't know. It's a weird world it's a weird world we're in where there's so many issues within the sports card world, and I don't think people always want to be honest about that. The more I think about it, the more concerned I get for the quote-unquote future, and the future being 6 months to 2 years from now. So I think the best thing you can do, truthfully, is just find your angle and find your sweet spot, and generate as much income as you can, because I don't know how long it's going to be there.
Yeah, you nailed it. People ask me all the time, how can I make money selling sports cars? And that's exactly what I tell them. You gotta find the lane you're good at and stick to it. And you start trying to do other things, it very rarely works.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I would tell you that it's nice to have a partner. It's nice to have a person who can flip cards, or you're an expert in Pokemon and TCG, and this guy's an expert in football and basketball, and like through your powers combined, you can both generate income. But like,
or one person's good at like grading, one person's good at getting raw stuff from connections, that kind of thing.
Even better. Like, this is not a hard industry to do well in. Like,
no.
It truly is not that hard if you are able to think critically, if you're able to source decent inventory. If you have cash you won't lose, because you will lose money playing in sports cards to start. It's not that hard. It really truly isn't. I think the hardest thing about what we do is walking the fine line of like playing nice with others versus calling stuff for what it is. I have fallen off that line. I have fully gone off to the deep end of just saying things how it is, because frankly, when you have money or the ability to buy and sell and trade, no one cares. It just matters about like, oh, I bought this car for $100. Dave's gonna give me $125. Okay, he can spout whatever he wants on Instagram. I don't give a shit. Like, money, please. And like that, we sell our morals very quickly in the sports card world for $1.
Sadly.
I mean, listen, I'm calling it what it is. I'm going off the deep end too. I've been like incredibly drunk the last couple of days. I was at my bachelor party, so I'm not even thinking super critically right now. So if I'm getting more and more inappropriate, Kai, early in the episode, It's your fault. You should have stopped me quicker.
Not my problem.
It's not my problem either. I'm hollow deity. I'm a god. A similar hollow name, but listen, I choose funny names. I have no problem with anyone, really. I don't know what else. What else do they really talk about these days? There's a July 4th Dallas card show, which is going to be ass. Are you going to that North Shore or no?
Nah.
Yeah, correct answer. Just like, if you're going to a Dallas card show 4th of July weekend, you probably are a single man. You just are. You're doing cards full time, or like you're just single and like you don't want to hang out with your friends or family or a girl or whatever. Like that's fine. Like I get it, but that's gonna be a brutal time. And I think that's basically it. Are there any major card shows going on besides Dallas in a month? Or
I'm going to the Midwest Monster Show this weekend, and it's in Indianapolis.
You know, the funny thing is, I actually thought that show folded. I have not heard a single thing about that show. I did not even know it was happening this weekend.
I'm going just because. I got some friends going, so I'm going to go hang out with them basically. So it's
Dude, it was decent, right?
It's 400 plus tables. It might be decent. I don't know. I've never been there. I mean, this is the last show I'm doing until the national area. So it's one last time to get out to try to buy some stuff.
I wish I knew the Midwest Monster was happening. I mean, I'm not free. I would not have gone anyway. But like, I truthfully did not even know that show was happening. Like, it's not under the Midwest. Now, what is the Instagram name for the Midwest Monster?
It's called something else. Let me look here. Hold on.
It's like the JL Card Show, something like that.
That's it. Yep, that's it.
That's awful. That's not good. I can't even find it. I typed in JL Card Show. All right, that's dumb. I mean, we in general have some issues with marketing and sports cards, but that is a whole different conversation. I don't think I'm equipped for right now. But yeah, sorry. Obviously, it's gonna be a little bit of a different episode. Anything else we should touch on? Anything else that's super major going on in the world, the sports cards, the after show, the national? Anything else that you guys are feeling super pressed to talk about or discuss today?
Well, I mean, we just got actually about an hour before we came on the podcast, we just had Alt reach out to us, and they're actually going to be at the after show doing cash advances, and they'll be part of the sponsorship. Zion Cases is part of the sponsorship. They're going to be providing showcases for people. So it's I think it's like 65 tables we can fit in there, and I think there's only like 4 or 5 left. I mean, the rest of them are already sold or spoken for. So I mean, it's really some pretty elite people that are going to be there. I mean, the names will be released probably a few weeks before, but a lot of people are going to be pushing this pretty hard. It's going to be, everybody I talk to say it's going to be better than a national. As crazy as it sounds for a 65 table show, but it's going to be, every person there is going to be there to buy and sell cards. Not going to be there to sit there and talk and have fun. We're there to move some cards.
Now, let me ask you some hard-hitting questions. Obviously, these are super hard questions. Are people going to be encouraged to come to your show and trade?
We do have a dedicated space set up for people to sit there, like with round tables, to do trades. So yep. we did want that to be part of it. I'd say it's more mainly a show, so it's more buying and selling, but there will be trades. Yeah, we have a space set up that's dedicated to that.
How much does it cost for somebody to get into your show?
So the table is $500 for the 3 nights, and then that includes your entry in. Obviously, it's unlimited people. It's free to get into the show. Like, it's free admission for anyone coming to the show that doesn't have a table.
Will you blackball me from the industry if I sell a showcase or 2 on my table?
I hope you do.
You hope you blackball me? That's not good. I don't want to.
Hey,
try your best, Dave.
Sell whatever you want.
Wow, what a crazy thought in today's world. Super funny, and honestly, thank you for including me on that honored hobby legend list. Totally deserving of that. I will accept a mini Oscar at the National in my honor. Thank you for that. Anything else we want to touch on? Anything else we need to get through today, or can we wrap a little bit early? Because I clearly am just assuring my reputation a little bit more every week.
No, I'm good.
I'm good unless Jake has anything else to say about the after show.
Nothing else. You'll see more details the few weeks leading up to it, and that's when everybody will start pushing it. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot. You'll see it a lot on Instagram. I know that much. So I anticipate it being really, really popular.
Yeah, listen, dude. If we can get you on again right before the national happens, talking about it, we'd love to have you, Jake, North Shore Cards. Make sure everyone you guys follow him. Even if you don't want to get a table or like want to support in any way, shape, or form, this is literally built by two people who are trying to make a more accessible experience for the masses. Help them out. Like I know that's crazy to say. Like it only benefits everyone as a whole and a collective to make sure this is a success. So reach out to Jake, have any questions, follow, share it if you see it. Like I'm going to actively, not because I benefit in any way, shape, or form, but because we as a collective can. So Jake, thank you so much. Kai, I'm going to bed, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Appreciate it.